All
All
right, I
right,
appreciate that. Thank you.
so
Hey
we can get started.
guys. All
So
right. My
awesome.
name is Rachel Youngson and I am from useplr.com and wholefoodplr.com, and I am in the business of teaching you guys how to use all of that wonderful PLR that you buy. And I have with me Justin today. He is from Tools for Motivation, and he is going to show us how to save time and make more money using done for you content in your business. It's really exciting stuff, guys. Hi Justin, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
I'm really hot. I live in Ontario in Canada, just outside of Toronto, and we basically have freezing cold season and scorching hot season. And right now we just transitioned to scorching hot.
So there's like no in between, huh?
No, there's
Yeah.
no in between. And so
Uh,
we're just always uncomfortable and complaining, even though we're polite. But that's okay. I think I can power through and get this presentation going for you guys. But it is
we
allergy
appreciate.
season. So if you hear me clearing my throat and taking lots of drinks, that's why. So please bear with me. But yeah, we
Yeah,
can just dive
please.
right in if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm more than ready.
Awesome. Okay. So yeah, like Rachel said, this is a presentation about saving time and making more money in your business with done for you content, or PLR, private label rights. And just feel free to ask questions, take notes. There will be a replay. I cover a lot of material in this presentation, but I also, as somebody who attends webinars from time to time, appreciate when things kind of move along more quickly rather than slowly. So I'm going to be mindful of kind of keeping the pace a bit higher today. And by all means, if we skip over something too quickly or you miss it, we are more than happy to answer those after the fact. So let us dive in here. What we're going to cover today, or what you're going to learn today: first, how to acquire instant access to ready-made digital products that you can publish as your own and keep 100% of the sales. And you can do so for pennies on the dollar. How you can take licensed content, or what we've coined at the top of this presentation, private label rights, or PLR. Hopefully you've heard of that term. If you haven't, don't worry, I'll explain it. And take that licensed content and turn it into something unique that kind of builds your brand, helps you grow your list, basically make more sales at the end of the day. I'm going to talk about some mistakes to avoid when you use this type of content, because it is brandable content that other businesses are also buying. So you need to be aware of that. We're going to talk about how to establish a know, like, and trust factor. So this is a common term. If you've done any sales training, you want to make sure that your prospects know you, they like you, and they feel like they can trust you, and so on. You can do this really well with private label rights content and the material we're going to be talking about today. It just makes selling a lot easier when your prospects feel this way. And I'm going to show you a pretty cool example of how to do that. I've got a 10 to 15 minute exercise, depending on your skill level. Some people it's shorter, some people it's longer, but it's going to let you extract your expertise into a video presentation. Obviously, video is huge. If you're not doing video, you're effectively missing out on a huge percentage of the potential market for any business. I'm not really concerned with what business or business model you're working within. If you're not doing video, you're missing out. So let's talk about how you can start doing more of that if you aren't yet. And a little trick to get it transcribed for free. And I have another cool example where we're going to show you how to create a wow factor for new prospects visiting your site for the first time. So you land on someone's site and you look at their 10 tips to whatever blog post and you think, that's pretty interesting, and you go on your way. Or you land on a blog post that's really in-depth, has a ton of value, and really helps you in your business and your life. And you investigate further and you realize, wow, this is somebody I want to follow. We're going to talk about how you can fit into that second category so that when people hit your blog, they're impressed and they want to learn more. I'm going to show you an easy way to spoil your subscribers so they never want to leave your list. Pretty fun fact to know, but also turn them into repeat customers in the process. How to create a visually stunning ebook or presentation or handout, even if your design skills are not so good. And then a special offer that only webinar attendees can access. So all of that will be covered in the next hour or so. Again, give or take with questions and just how quickly I speak without confusing you. So let's dive into it. So as we mentioned off the top, Justin Popovich is my name. Making PLR is my game. Hey, I just came up with a rap. That was pretty cool. Ted Payne is my business partner. Ted and I have been in business actually together now for 10 years or so. we actually know each other from our high school days. We both finished our high schools and college and university stuff and went off and got jobs. And then 7-8 years into that, realized that neither of us really wanted to do that. So we kind of branched off and created our own business. We did a lot of services for the first few years, a lot of building websites and things of that nature. Eventually we got into content creation. So we started a content creation business in 2010 after we got a bit tired of building websites and doing kind of techie jobs for people. It was very much exchanging time for money. It's still better than having to work in a job, or for me, it was a corporate career that I didn't like. At least when I was selling services, it was under my own name, which I took more pride in and had a bit more control over my schedule. But at the end of the day, if you're selling only services, it does get pretty time consuming and your income gets capped. So we created our first content creation company that has now evolved to this. And we've actually built 2 successful, quote, PLR, private label rights businesses. We sold the first one that I mentioned above in 2016 to actually a company of a friend of mine. And it allowed us to focus on this site, toolsformotivation.com. And in that time, we've built over 500. Actually, the number is probably closer to about 800 now. Digital products in the PLR space. Our current catalog at Tools for Motivation is getting close to 400 now. And these are just all different types of products, downloadable tools in the self-help or personal development niche. And that's what we do. This entire website is our entire business. There's really nothing else we do other than this. But that's actually a key distinction, and why I think we have a business that's growing and successful by our definition is that we have focused and we've really allowed ourselves to kind of become one of the recognized experts in this field. And that's something to consider when you're building your business as well. And hopefully PLR can help you do it. So what is private label rights? I've said this a few times, but if you're new to this, I want to make sure that I'm not throwing around terminology that you don't understand. Private label rights, or PLR, is simply content licensing. It means somebody else makes content, you can buy a license of it, and once you own that license, you can then publish it as your own. You can learn from it as well, and you can just read it and consume it, but it doesn't end there. You now have the editable versions where you can change what that content says, or how it looks, if it's graphics, or what it sounds like, if it's audio, and so on. And when you start publishing it as your own, that means now you can start profiting from it rather than the original creator. It saves you a lot of time. Historically, a lot of PLR has been poor quality. So hopefully with this presentation, you can now see that I don't want to call it an industry, but this kind of space of business has been improving. And every year it's getting better and better as more professional businesses enter it. And it's more than just articles. So you may have heard of PLR in the past as if you need to load up a blog, you can get a bunch of PLR articles to save time. Well, that's true, but you can also get any kind of content. So if you need slide decks for a presentation, or you need a longer text for like a printable physical book, or you want some audio or video for a membership site or some kind of video course that you're selling and so on, you can find private label rights producers for all of these different types of content categories. And some companies like ours, for example, we produce private label material for all those different categories. And many of our products actually have options for all of the above, audio, video, and so on. So there's quite a bit of variety out there. Let me just quickly hop over here and show you a demo of one of our products. So this is the main website I talked about, toolsformotivation.com. You can browse around here later. Anything I tell you today, by the way, is not limited to our products. I mean, when I talk about private label rights content, there's some great providers on the market, and you maybe already own some. This applies to any private label right content that you may have purchased already. So here's a product we released last week. This is called Becoming Present, Mindfulness in a Hectic Age. Very popular kind of hot topic in the self-help world, mindfulness, meditation, self-hypnosis, and so on. All those things sell very well if you market in this market, or if you sell products in this market. Now, this product, it's $127 for a license. I talked about licensed content earlier. So what does this $127 license get you? Well, if you scroll down the page, you'll see here, first you get a totally rebrandable ebook. So it's about 6,200 words And it's kind of a top to bottom explanation of what mindfulness is, why it's important, how to use it, tips for your audience to get better at it. Imagine the difference of, even if you spend the 127 right now and you have this book already done for you, and you simply want to add some of your own opinions to it, maybe some of your own exercises and examples, maybe some photos of you in action if you coach this kind of stuff, you can now have an ebook ready to sell in maybe 5% of the time it would have taken to write it yourself. So for many people, the $127 investment is worth it alone just to have an ebook written for them. With our products, we create a lot of stuff. So we include the book, we have all these graphics. I'm scrolling down the page here. We take the main book, which is in text format, and we enhance it with graphics for you, so it kind of looks like a magazine. So even that step alone, if you want to print out something that looks nicer, that's done for you. We create a workbook, so the students reading your book can actually get some specific steps to help them implement the ideas. That comes with its own set of graphics as well. We have a professional voiceover team. They narrate each and every one of our ebooks into a high quality audiobook that you can then sell. Now you can sell it as a standalone audiobook. You can sell it as a combo with the ebook. You can do it as an upsell. So maybe the ebook is $17 and the audio book is another $17 on an upsell, as an example. We create all of that content for you. And the list kind of goes on here. I don't want to go through too much of it because you're going to see examples as I go through this webinar. But we're creating things like reports to help you with your lead generation. Give that away for free to build your list. We've pre-written emails to help people get interested in mindfulness. We have a slide deck that helps you do a presentation like I'm doing right now, and articles about this topic. It goes on and on. And for all that, you spend $127. All that work is done for you. That is the essence of PLR. So with that, let me just switch over to our next slide here and show you a 4-step PLR usage model. So I just kind of gave you an overview of one type of product. Other PLR providers will package it completely different than us. That's just our style. You'll find what you like. But the bottom line is this: whether you're buying PLR from us, or maybe you got some free private label rights material, you got it from someone else, here's 4 steps that will always work, at least in my experience. Step 1 is take inventory of what your selected package includes. Is it large like ours, where you have an audio component, you've got a workbook, you've got all these different moving parts, and they can all become standalone marketing materials for your business? Maybe it's something a bit smaller. Maybe it's just a checklist and some graphics. Once you understand what your package includes, then group the content in that package into one of 3 categories. What you can use as premium content, meaning I'm going to sell this thing. I'm going to sell an audiobook. I'm going to sell an ebook. Lead generation. So maybe it's a shorter report. I'm going to give it away as a way to get people to join my list. Or web and branding content. This is stuff you're just going to publish for free. It's going to be a blog post. It's going to be a Facebook post. It might be an image you share on Pinterest or Instagram. It could be a video you put up on YouTube to get people interested in your mindfulness course coming up. I don't know what it may be. But in that PLR package, you're going to see all this different content. Make sure you can look at each piece of content and group it into one of these 3. Once you've done that, then you decide, how do you plan to use it? Because you've purchased this PLR, or you've at least downloaded if it was free. How do you leverage it so that it can actually help your business? Maybe it's just a lead generation report. What you want to do before the end of that business day is make sure there's a way for someone to land on your website, sign up for your mailing list, and get that lead generation report. Then what you want to do is add any PLR you get, whether it's on a free giveaway, a bonus, you buy it from us or from someone else, put it into an assets folder. In my company, we use Dropbox so that all members of our teams can see all of our assets. And what I would suggest you do is you create a content assets shareable folder for your business. If you have, virtual assistants working in remote locations, or if there's more than one of you, if there's multiple partners and so on, everybody can see, here's a whole bunch of PLR that we've acquired. We have the rights to publish this material as sellable content, as blog posts, as article content, as webinar material, whatever, and we can all pull from it, and it's categorized into different groups. So some of it may be self-confidence based content. Other stuff might be on leadership or public speaking, or like we talked about earlier, mindfulness and meditation. Who knows what it may be? Once you have that assets folder created, every time you get PLR, put it in there so that you know you own it. On the resource page, which I'll share with you at the end as part of our special offer, we have a very specific training on how to use this 4-step model at a much more detailed level. So now I just want to point out some mistakes to avoid before I get into some actual examples with using PLR. So 3 things in particular I wanted to mention today. The first one is more of a coaching lesson from me to you as somebody who's been doing this for close to 10 years. I've made a lot of mistakes. Just hope you don't repeat those. Buying stuff and not implementing it. I'm sure you've already suffered from this a little bit, whether you bought some kind of course or training and you just didn't use the material yet. With PLR, it really is, you're not doing yourself any favors by buying it and letting it sit there. It's content that you've purchased a license for. So publish it somewhere. Make sure it's at least a blog post, or it's doing some work to get traffic back to your website or to generate sales for your business. Turn it into material you can publish as soon as possible. If at all possible, do it within a day or 2 of buying it. Have a plan, right? Then you get people that implement. So let's say our mindfulness product that I showed you at the beginning there, maybe you buy that and then you customize that ebook so that it's got your logo inside of it and it's got an exercise at the end where you walk people through a mindfulness exercise and it's trademarked to your company and it really helps sell your live seminars or whatever. You've done all that work, but then you don't publish it. And you, believe it or not, we see this happening all the time. People do the work. They create a really great ebook or a course, and then it just sits there because it's not perfect yet, or they're just not ready to start selling it. Publish it. Make sure it's available for people to access. It'll never help you grow your business at all. There's nothing it can do just sitting on your hard drive or your server.
Yeah, that's really important.
Oh, go ahead, Rachel.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say, just to jump in real quick, that's really, really important, guys. I believe it's Dennis Becker who says money loves speed. Yes. So the quicker you guys get your buy buttons out there, you can always tweak it or fix it later. It's really just about getting things rolling and getting things out there and getting yourself out there over and over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a repeat customer email me the other day, and his name kind of jumped out in my inbox because I've seen his name in my PayPal account many, many times. So I thought, well, this person's got a question. I want to answer it. And he was somebody that was actually entering the PLR space and wanted me to promote it, his new product. And I had to look at it. It was really good quality, but he's new to the game. So I really was being very careful. I kind of looked really deep and hard and kind of went through all of his content. And I found a number of errors that he probably was working so hard he missed them. But he had done a great job for about 90% of the stuff. So I gave him the feedback. I said, look, I like what you've done here. I'd be willing to take a look at promoting this, but here, and here, I definitely would need it fixed before I move on. And he was all over it. He's like, oh, thanks so much for the feedback. And I'd rather see that, right? As somebody that went out and did the work and they made some mistakes, but he's totally willing to correct it. Now I have way more confidence to maybe refer my customers to someone like that because I can see that he takes pride in his work and he was willing to put something out there that maybe he wasn't 100% confident was ready, but it was still really good work. And I was still impressed, even though I'm kind of picky for stuff like this. I'd rather see that than somebody go, can you promote my thing? It's going to be ready in 3 months. And I never hear from them again. It kind of really kills my confidence in that person's ability to deliver. So I'd rather see somebody approach it this way. And it really stood out to me. And I'm sure it would for you as well in the same kind of position. I have more information on our resource page that I'll keep mentioning because as part of our special offer, if you take the special offer, this resource page will have all kinds of deep dives into every example I share with you today. Okay, so now is the key aspect of this whole webinar, and that is implementing PLR. Here are the steps and the examples that will help you save time and make more money. So I've kind of got 2 categories or 2 bundles. I've got some basic examples that you may have seen already if you've been looking at this stuff for a while. And then I've got some more advanced examples that I have seen them to be pretty unique. And the feedback I've been given from people is that these are great ideas. Haven't really thought about that before. I'm definitely going to give it a try. So if you wait with me or kind of hold on here and go through all of them, I think you'll walk away with a couple of good ideas at least that you can try today. And if you need any PLR to actually work with it, let myself or Rachel know because there's plenty of free stuff that you can start with and then build from there. So let's go through it. So the first one is probably the most obvious. I've seen it probably used the most, and that's for ongoing blog content. It's very easy nowadays to find private label rights material on almost any topic to help you write blog posts. So here's one where On the left side of this page, there is a PLR article about negotiating your job to regain a work-life balance. It's maybe a 400-word article, 500-word, whatever. It's a page or so. And all you would need to do, if you're new to this, if you're just getting used to publishing content online and you're trying to fill up a blog with useful material for your new visitors, this is a great step. You can take that PLR article, copy and paste the title into the title section of your WordPress post. If you're not using WordPress, it's pretty much going to look the same for any type of blogging platform. What I recommend you do is change things up a little. Notice I put negotiate your job for work-life balance instead of to regain work-life balance. So I kind of changed the wording a little bit because I'm being mindful that other people may also own this PLR article and they may also be publishing the content. Then I take the rest of the body of the article and I paste it into my post. And then from there, I can just hit publish, or what I recommend people do is take 3, 4, 5 minutes, read through it, and maybe add your 2 cents here and there. Add a fourth point or add an intro and an outro so that the blog post itself is unique. It comes from you, your company, whatever it is you like to advise people to do based on your expertise. And that way the post itself is completely unique because it has been edited, at least to a degree. But again, 5% of the time it would take maybe if you were to do this whole thing from scratch. So that's how PLR will save you money. Find a good article like this and you don't have to write the whole thing. You simply make a few changes here and there. You could be done in about 5 minutes. Where it gets really interesting is when you have multiple articles. So here's an example of where you can take 3 articles and schedule them. Let's say you want to start blogging once a week. So you want a new blog post to come out every Monday morning. Well, you could yourself, or you could write a little checklist for a virtual assistant or somebody on your team to take a batch of PLR articles and do the exact same thing I just showed you on the previous slide, but do it 3, 4, 5, 10, 50, whatever times. If you did it 52 times and you scheduled it, like you can see here, I'm scheduling posts for future dates. Now you can have content that will drip out over however many blog posts that you want to schedule in advance. This is something that can be done totally hands off if you have somebody on your team that can do it for you and you train them on how to customize a PLR article. This is a really good example of how you can leverage someone else's work, that licensed content, while you focus on other things like, I don't know, maybe doing what I'm doing now, webinar to grow your brand and get people to know about what you do. So that's a really simple but very powerful example. Another example would be to use private label content to create ebooks or reports that you can sell or give away as lead magnets, right? We get a lot of people that are new to this. They come to our website and they do primarily services. So maybe they're a coach or they're an advisor or a therapist or a consultant. And the majority of their revenue comes from, phone calls or meetings in their clinic or in their office where they're sitting down and spending an hour with a client working on stuff. Well, that's great. And that's a core component of their business that will probably never go away. But it's pretty limited in terms of generating revenue for their company. What if they took a lot of their expertise or the advice that they provide people, and after the session, they had homework or pre-reading for the next session, or just takeaway materials to kind of cement the ideas they were already working on? Those therapists or consultants or coaches or whatever could start selling or even giving away material that will just grow the loyalty of their business. And also if they're kind of maxed out right now, they can only take 10 clients at a time. Well, you can have people on a waiting list that purchase these things from you in advance, so you can still generate revenue even though your time has been maxed out. And you can do all kinds of stuff like creating upsells or like bundle the audio like I talked about earlier. With PLR, maybe you have like 5 different ebooks on 5 core topics that you coach on, and you can offer those 5 for 1 on a sale, right? And then when somebody buys it, you can say, I've also got these in audio format. Here they are for free as a coaching client, or here they are for a reduced price as somebody who's a subscriber. So you could have your own little store here. Like I've just got an example from our store, all these different digital products available for download, digital sale, while you're doing your day-to-day work, working one-on-one with clients, you're generating revenue over and above that's time for money type of revenue. This is a huge difference maker for a lot of people that come to us for help. And if you are selling your time for money, this can really help you extend that and basically just make more without spending any more time. I've got another example of how to do this kind of deep dive step-by-step in our resource page as well. This is another really cool example using PLR for modules within a larger training course or seminar. So I actually did this, and here's what it looked like. A number of years ago, I created a course called Prod Create, and we taught people how to build digital products, basically selling their expertise in the form of downloadable courses and books and so on. So I knew how to do that quite well because I had already done it a few hundred times. So I thought, well, why not teach exactly what I've learned about this process and charge money for it in the form of a video course, which was great. And people went through my process and they learned all the steps and they were able to sell their own products. There were a few pieces of that puzzle that I didn't feel super confident teaching. And one of them was writing sales copy. So I've never really considered myself a good copywriter. I can explain the value of my product on a sales letter like you see here. But I probably wouldn't be considered a persuasive writer. I probably can't get you super excited to click that buy button like some other copywriters may. And that's an important piece of the puzzle for many people that sell products online, right? So what I did was, in teaching this course, I went and licensed someone else's copywriting templates. He was a very good copywriter, kind of established a name for himself in the business, and he offered private label rights or a licensed version of his copywriting template. It was like a 13-step template that allowed you to write your very first sales letter. And instead of me trying to teach people something that I wasn't really good at teaching, I could teach you how to build a product, but just wasn't great at communicating how to build that sales letter. I just told people, follow this 13-step process to then create your sales letter once you're done your product. And I even told people on my live webinars that this isn't my 13-step process. I licensed this process from someone else and it works, and I wanted to license it for you. And I kind of even made it a benefit of my program. It's like, hey, you didn't have to buy this because I bought it for you. So you can do that with private label rights as well. If the, you have to just check what the author says. Like a lot of PLR authors will say, don't use my name on the content. That's fine. You don't have to share their name, but you could say, I went and licensed this particular module in my course or this chapter in my book from a renowned expert in XYZ field. This is not my voice, but I think you'll get a lot of value from this upcoming module. Please read it and let me know what you think, right? Then you can be, if you're ever worried about like using someone else's licensed content and somebody finding out, now you've kind of covered your bases, right? Like now you've told people, I didn't write this, but it's really valuable. I learned from it. I think you will too. So that was awesome for me. And it let me create a really powerful course, even though I didn't know how to teach every single module in it. PLR helped me. Taking a quick drink here. All right, so another one is, this is kind of a basic one, but I always like to mention it. Ongoing updates to membership sites or programs. So Rachel actually mentioned Dennis earlier. Dennis Becker is an example of somebody who uses PLR really well to have recurring revenue. He's created a giant membership site. He actually has a number of membership sites. And one of the benefits that his members get is every week he sends out a series of downloads, different products, courses, and whatever that you would have to purchase otherwise. But as a member, he lets you download them all for free, and then they stay on and pay their, whatever it is, nominal monthly fee to stick with him. But they're getting tremendous value because they're getting all the stuff that they do in his community and so on, plus all these downloads without paying anything extra. So this is a key thing here. If you haven't yet thought about building a membership site, or if you have one and you need some ongoing content to put in there month after month so that your members are getting value, PLR is a great, amazing resource for that as well. Because as far as I have seen in my, 8 years of running my own membership site, the more stuff you put on there on a monthly basis, the better. Members never complain about having too much stuff. It may take them a little bit longer to sort through everything, but they're never going to complain or cancel because you're just giving them too many things. So keep that in mind, because membership sites, will help you create recurring revenue, which is massive for your business, gives you predictable revenue. You can pay your staff. You can take on new projects that you wouldn't necessarily be able to do if you didn't have repeatable recurring revenue. So make sure that you take that into consideration and make sure that PLR is part of that strategy. Okay, so I went through that really quickly to get to these. I have some advanced strategies that I want to share with you, and each one of these would take a little while to implement, but it wouldn't take you a whole day. Every one of these, I figure you could complete in under an hour. you would probably need to come back and watch the replay because I'm going to go through them quickly. But I definitely suggest you try at least a couple of these next 5 or 6 that I'm going to share with you here. So the first one is how to easily build the know, like, and trust factor. I talked about this off the top. Getting your prospects to know, like, and trust you is huge in selling. If they feel that way, you'll close a sale far more easily than if they don't really know who you are yet. So why not put as much content out there as possible that moves them through that process? It makes selling a breeze. So here's the way this particular example goes. You're going to start with a PLR article that contains content that you want to share. So in my business, we create self-help material. If you're in some other business model, that's fine as well. You can find PLR for anything. I'm going to probably mostly stick with self-help examples. I think my example here on this one is actually about social media. It doesn't matter. So find an article that has content you want to share. And again, make sure that it communicates something that you sell in your business. Okay. So if you're an expert on people that helps people overcome phobias, you're a therapist that works on just helping people get over phobias that hold them back, make sure your content isn't about like Twitter, right? Make sure it lines up with what it is you're doing. So you find an article that's, 3 ways to rationalize irrational fears, as an example. Okay. Then you read that article, maybe take a couple minutes to read it, extract a few quick bullets, maybe a phrase or two, anything that kind of resonates with you from that article. Usually I find one sentence per, sorry, just one second here. Sorry about that. I had somebody come to my door and it was really distracting. Okay, I find one sentence per paragraph and I put that into a slide deck. Okay, so then what you want to do is you make a video narrating the article over the slides. This is what I think a lot of people should be doing if you're not currently doing video marketing, because I find a lot of people get really uptight. They're like, I need to create video, but I don't really feel comfortable on camera, or I need to create video, but I'm not really good at communicating my ideas yet. So for example, right now, other than me getting distracted a couple of seconds ago, I can do presentations like this without any rehearsal. And I can even do new ones without much rehearsal, just because I'm very accustomed to creating this type of material. If you're not, follow this method because it really makes a lot of sense. So what you want to do, and the last step is you're going to record a short intro from your smartphone for personal branding. So here's how it's going to look. You're going to take an article. You're going to grab some information out of that article. Like I said before, maybe a couple of bullets, and you're going to create slides. So with each slide, it will encapsulate the idea, but you don't want to put the whole sentence or the whole paragraph, because people will then read your slides and they will not listen to your voice. And what you want to go for here is the idea of personal branding. You want people to think that or to know that you're the expert, that you can communicate powerful ideas to them. So the slides would have like, a giant, like, what is it? It's mass appeal, it's targeted. And they're just going to look at those visuals while they listen to you read something. So then once those slides are up on your screen, you can use an app like I have here on my screen. I have something called ScreenFlow. If you're on I use that on my Mac. If you're on a PC, you could use something called Camtasia. There's a number of different tools out there that will allow you to record your slides while you read. Now, what I'll often do is I'll have a second screen, or sometimes I'll pull up the article on my iPhone and I'll have the slides going across, kind of like I'm doing for you right now. And even during this webinar, I'm speaking into a microphone while you look at my slides. So what I would do is I would have my slides going across the screen and I would simply narrate the article that I found. There's no special presentation skills required. I just need to know how to read. And my best advice to you is keep your tempo up. Use like a kind of, even if you have to feel a little bit fake, make sure that the sound of you narrating that article is appealing to the listener. You don't want to bore them to death with a monotone voice. Try your best to make it sound interesting. And then at the end, so you're going to record it. You're going to have the slides going across the screen. You're going to have, let's say, if it's a 500 or 400 word article, it's going to be 2 to 3 minutes long with a voice script and some slides. Then at the end, you're going to record this little tiny intro that you're going to put before these slides play. And I actually did this, and later on I can give you a link to show you a live example. I turned on my iPhone, I did a video of me speaking into the phone saying, hey, it's Justin here. And I just dropped my kids off from school or whatever it was. Like I literally was super honest about it. But I really wanted to share my latest tip with you. It's in a video, and in just a second, you're going to hear it. But pay close attention, because in this video, I'm going to share with you some of my best secrets for social media influence. Have a look right now, and we'll see you on the other side, whatever it was. It was 10 seconds max, but here's the distinction. Now they're getting a video that they're seeing me as the narrator of this video, somebody communicating this content with them and teaching them some valuable information. But I didn't really have to know what I was going to say. All I had to do was narrate an article and create a 10-second video that let them see me on the screen and make that connection. When I first started in my business and I created a coaching program before I was really selling any kind of downloadable stuff, I would make sales to people all over the world. I remember actually my biggest market at the beginning was Australia. So I've never traveled there, but people are getting onto my blog and watching videos of me. And every one of my pre-call, kind of coaching calls to pre-sell the coaching, they'd be like, I feel like I know you. I've watched all your YouTube videos. Now you look and sound the same on Skype. Like, let's do this. So it really made selling a lot easier because they had that connection right now. So it might be a bit difficult if not used to doing this, but getting on screen, showing your face, even if it's just for 10 seconds before you narrate an article, will make a giant difference. This entire process requires very little effort if you're using PLR, and then you're just doing a video like I showed you here. Couple slides, little video, 10 seconds long, and it's an unbelievable way to connect with your audience that very few people do. So I highly encourage you to try this method. It works really well. And if you like it, I suggest you do it once a week. Make Thursday morning your video morning. All you have to do is line up a PLR article for the week, shoot your video, publish it to YouTube, put it up on your blog and Facebook, and you're up and running. So that's a good one. The next example, advanced example number 2, is a 10 to 15 minute exercise. I'm kind of guessing there. I've seen people do it in about 10. That will let you extract your expertise into a video presentation. Once again, we're talking video. Can you tell I like it? And then get the whole thing transcribed for free. That's a little trick that not a lot of people know, but I always like to share this idea because it's just something that not a lot of people are aware of. This one is a bit more advanced because it's going to start teaching you, and you're going to start training yourself to become a bit more of a dynamic speaker of communicating your expertise on video. So here's how it looks. First, you start with a topic you know well and you feel confident talking about. So whatever that is, again, if you go back to my example of the therapist that helps people deal with phobias, their main topic is probably understanding fear, understanding anxiety. They'll probably want to start with one of those. The first time you do this, pick something big that you talk about every day, right? And then what you want to do, again, find a PLR article on the same topic. This should not be a hard step. Talk to myself or Rachel if you need help with that piece. That's quite easy. Then, similar to before, extract 3 to 5 points from the article that you can discuss based on your experience. So this is almost identical to the last example. The only difference now is you're going to look at those points and talk about them from your own experience rather than relying on the article to dictate what you're going to say. So you're going to paste those 3 to 5 points into a slide deck, and then you're going to record yourself presenting the 3 to 5 topics, but you're going to do it off the top of your head. So that's where this becomes a little bit intimidating for some people, but I cannot encourage this enough for anybody that's new to online publishing or online business. This was a huge hurdle for me to overcome, but once I got it, I'd never look back, and it just helped me sell more. It helped me create more products. You really want to try to force yourself to get good at this as soon as possible. And what I always tell people to do is, actually, before I reveal that tip there, I lost all my points. What I always tell people to do here is, okay, let's say you found 3 points in an article, okay? You're going to talk about why fears are irrational, an example of irrational fears and how they were overcome, and then what to do next, okay? Think of yourself sitting down to explain those 3 points to me, somebody who doesn't know your topic very well, over a coffee. And we're going to pretend that there's not a video there listening. You're just simply going to talk and explain those things. If you can put yourself into that mindset, I'm having a coffee chat and I'm just going to tell my friend about these 3 things and teach them. That will help you relax and get good at this. And once you go through all this and create this video, you're going to be able to upload it to YouTube, and it will transcribe everything you say in this video into text for free. So let's look at that. So here's an example of an article on how to break bad habits. And what I went through, I kind of did this example behind the scenes. I found a couple of points inside of that article. So I had a title slide, and then I found one that said, how did you start your bad habits in the first place? That was one point. So I could talk about that. Once you identify them, then I understand that motivation to change them is important, and then you're replacing them with good habits. I could tell a story to you right now with those slides going across my screen without any rehearsal, and it would be a decent 1, 2, or 3 minute long video that demonstrates and shows my audience that I know what I'm talking about. I have expertise in this particular topic. This should not be an issue for you if you're publishing content on something that you're already branding yourself as an expert in. Only sell products or coaching or consulting on something you're good at. Don't make it even harder on yourself by trying to sell something you're not good at yet, okay? So assuming you're good at it, you should be able to create that video very, very easily. And it would look like this. You would have a video that kind of very simple slides, you're speaking across them, you upload it to YouTube, and then once it's uploaded, you're gonna see this little point, you can see my arrow pointing at it there, this little kind of ellipses or 3 dots, and it says open transcript. It's actually going to print out everything that you have said in that video into a string of text. It's not the loveliest block of text, but it is text, and it actually has transcribed your voice into something printable. This is amazing. For some of our customers, they're really good speakers. They hate to write, but they could just grab a microphone and tell you what they think about this and that and the other thing all day long. Well, this would be a really good example for them to follow, because they could extract all kinds of information from their brain and use this method to get it all printed out and then format it into an ebook, a report, or a series of blog posts after the fact. If you want to try this method and you have any trouble with the transcript, hit up my help desk. Let me know that you're on this webinar. I actually have a more in-depth step-by-step on this, and it's also on our resource page as well. But I highly recommend, not only do you try this, but you get in the habit of doing this often, because you probably have a lot of information and things that you're good at, that you're an expert at, you can teach other people. And it's just a matter of getting in the habit of doing it often so that you can showcase those skills and that knowledge and sell more of your stuff. Okay, it's a really good one to try. The next one is creating a wow factor for new prospects visiting your site for the first time by creating free blog posts that you could charge money for, okay? So I always say that if I'm Googling something and I find a blog post with like 10 quick tips to this, I'll read it and I'll go, that was interesting, then I'll hit the back button. But there's been times where, let's say my WordPress site was hacked, and I landed on somebody's blog post and it was like thousands of words long and it solved my problem exactly. I pretty much 100% of the time subscribe to that blog or join the list, because the person just gave me so much value for free that I know their tech, like in that example, their tech expertise will come in really handy to me in the future. So I want to make sure I stay on this person's list. You can create that exact same kind of feeling or thought with your prospects when you do blog posts. You don't want to do it all the time, but some of your blog posts can be these higher, like could charge money for type of high value posts. And you can do so in about 10 minutes. You don't have to spend a lot of time doing this if you have access to good PLR. So traditional blog posts, like I talked about, 3 tips or 8 books or whatever. Interesting content will help you get indexed in Google, maybe something you could share on Facebook, but it's not going to make a deep impact with anybody looking at your website. It'll just kind of get them interested. An enhanced blog post has one core theme, but you're going to dive deep. So you're going to do multiple topics, if possible, multiple content formats. So I've done blog posts where I do maybe a 500-word intro, and then I say, okay, now that I've explained it, watch this 20-minute training video where I walk you through everything that I just introed here. Those kind of blog posts do really well, and a lot of our customers will bookmark them and come back to them later. That's about the best result I can possibly hope for, because now people are using my blog on a repeat basis. So they're coming to my website to learn on an ongoing basis. They're way more likely to buy stuff from me now. And I actually have an example here. So let me go over to my browser. And where is it? This guy here. I can never get rid of this Zoom thing. It's hard to, there it is. Okay, so this is a blog post called Breakthrough to a New You. I'm going to quickly scroll here. This is a personal development blog that I used to run more actively than I do now, but it still has a lot of great information. So I just scroll for you quickly here. if you look at it, it keeps going and going and going. I'm going to guess that it's around 3,000 words, and it has 3 different types of content. It's got graphics, text, and audio-based content. All of this content that you see in this long blog post called Breakthrough to New You, it's sort of a personal transformation guide, was all pulled directly out of PLR articles, and I made maybe a minute or 2 worth of changes. It was almost exclusively PLR content. So I start off the blog post with a poster. We have posters in our store at Tools for Motivation. Many other PLR creators provide these as well. This just has a nice quote that kind of catches the eye. I don't just throw text at them right away. Catches their eye, gets them thinking, and then they can dive into my content. And then I go through 5 different sections, all about breaking through to a new you. And I just kind of picked 5 topics under that sort of overall theme. So section 1 was using challenges to break through your comfort zone. If you want to break through to a new you, it's going to be uncomfortable. Here are some examples of getting out of your comfort zone. So that's an article that I pulled from a PLR kit. And then I said, check out this additional audio segment about taking more chances. So getting out of your comfort zone requires taking chances. You can now listen to this audio. And I'll see if, I don't know if you can hear it or not here.
Filling life. No one ever gets anywhere if they don't take a chance.
Right. So, I mean, that's a real, you probably can't hear it too well here, but it's a really good quality audio. This comes from toolsformotivation.com. It's not just something that we hack together. It's something that somebody's going to want to listen to and possibly even download for later. If I have a whole bunch of these audio segments on my blog and then offer that as a downloadable MP3 pack, I mean, I'm giving my audience tons and tons of value here, but it's also catering to the different learning styles. For me personally, I love audiobooks. Most of my learning comes when I drive. I like to listen to audio. I do read books on Kindle as well, and I like to watch videos. So my blog post is catering to those different learning styles. But as a reader of this post, I might just quickly jump to these audio sections and listen to those first before I even read anything. And that way you're kind of giving a nice variety to anybody that comes by. So the same thing goes, it goes on and on here, breaking through to a new you. We caught the next section is daring yourself to overcome your fear of success. There was no right or wrong way to do this. I literally came up with a title called Breakthrough to a New You. And then I found 4 or 5 different PLR articles that I thought, well, those kind of all contribute to this theme. I pasted them together. I added the audio. The audio is similar as well, like easy ways to improve mental toughness. Mental toughness is required when you're breaking through to a new you, right? So I just kind of played with it and mixed and matched articles and audios, and I came up with this really long blog post that anybody looking for this information will probably get a lot of value from that. Not everybody's going to read through the whole thing, but the people that do, I can almost guarantee they're going to join my list and stick with me for a longer time. So that's the kind of thing you can do more often when you have good private label rights content. So the enhanced blog post method. Okay, the next one is an easy way to spoil your subscribers so they never want to leave your list while turning them into repeat customers. I don't know if this is the best example, if my favorite example, but it might be my number one. And the reason being is that so far I have yet to find an online business where email marketing is not important. I'm sure they're out there, but most of them that I can see have email marketing integrated in one way or another. In my business, email marketing drives almost all of our sales. So without it, we pretty much can't generate revenue, and it's probably going to be very similar for you. So anytime you see methods or suggested trainings, how to grow your list, but more importantly, how to engage with your list, or in my bold letters there, spoil your subscribers, if at all possible, do it, because you cannot over deliver. You can't give away too many free things or give too much value to your list. It's just impossible. So how do you achieve this particular result? So I'm going to show you something that we do. Tools for Motivation, when you join our list, you probably join it by buying something, but we also give away free stuff. So it kind of depends on how you found us. But every week we give away something for free, usually on Tuesdays, depends on the day of the week. But our subscribers have now grown to expect this. People that have been with us for years, basically every week you're going to get something without paying for anything. And so that alone is a reason enough for them to stay on our list. We are now, you have to do it relevant to your business. We are in the content licensing business. So people come to us for licensed content. So every week we give away free licensed content. If you're in the business coaching arena, then you might want to give away some business coaching tips or a template they can use to improve their business in one way or another. Maybe some kind of legal form that they don't have to buy. I don't know what it may be for you. Your freebies need to be relevant to them. But every single week, our subscribers expect this, and it keeps them on our list. That reason alone, a lot of people have told us, I just love sticking around for your freebies. I buy stuff from time to time, but hey, your freebies are awesome. I'm like, great. It's just a reason for them to stick around, and I like it. What we do is we have a freebie portal. So we have a page. We sometimes swap out the URL so people never know where it is. But once a week, we post something for free, and then it gets taken down. So you need to be a subscriber to see where and when this next new piece of content is coming out. So it keeps the engagement high. It keeps people interested. Hey, what's the next freebie going to be? When's it coming out? I usually give warnings. Hey, last week's is coming down. You're not going to be able to get it anymore. So go and get it. It gives me excuses to email my list and stay in touch with them, which I really like to do daily if possible, at least 5 days a week in most cases. And you should too, in my opinion. So all you need to do is find PLR related to your expertise, and you could pull off this exact same model. Create a freebie portal, start building your mailing list, and sending them some kind of free download once a week to show you your appreciation. I come right out in my mailers and say it. Hey, thanks so much for being a subscriber. Really, really appreciate it. We want to make sure you continue getting value from being on our list and getting our emails daily. Here is another freebie of the week. Hope you like it. Here's some ways to use it. Create a blog post, blah, blah, blah. So you could join a few PLR membership sites, or you could even just buy some piecemeal PLR and rebrand it to your company and start giving away some kind of weekly download to keep your subscribers interested. And they'll probably feel the exact same way that ours do. It works really well. It's been working for years. I haven't stopped yet, and I have no intention of stopping. So I highly recommend this method. And just creates a reason to open your email and stay subscribed. This isn't the only thing that we do to keep our customers or subscribers engaged, but it's one thing that we do every week that I feel really makes a big difference. Another thing we do is we spend a lot of time talking to our customers. If they email us, I will either personally reply or someone at our help desk will reply. And if it's important, they'll forward it to me so I can personally reply. I like to look at a lot of the feedback from our customers and see what they're saying and ask them questions in return. Each subscriber on your list is a relationship that you're building. So if you treat each subscriber as a friend, somebody that you're helping, over time, it doesn't take that many subscribers to have a really, really high leverage list that you can make money on. So here's an example of how well this works, even with not a great list. So a while back, we won an affiliate contest where we were first place, and you can see we made like 195 sales on this particular promo, where the second place person was 79. So we did a ton of volume on this, and we mailed a list that was, you can see it on the screen here, 3,500 people. Now, if you're just getting started, that number may seem high, but I know a lot of people in the online business world in different markets and niches and so on, and their lists totally eclipse this particular list that we were marketing to this day. Like not even close, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000. And there'll be times where they can't not send as many sales as we do on a 3,500 person list. And the reason is creating things like a freebie portal, interacting with our subscribers on a daily basis, letting them know, doing these things I've talked about on this webinar, like building that know, like, and trust factor by creating videos and sending it out to them on a regular basis so they feel like they know us. If you do all this stuff, you don't need a huge list to make a high impact. And if you only start with that previous example I gave you here, this freebie portal, just start doing this once a week. Send something out to your list for free. Expect nothing in return. Ask them for feedback. Hey, do you like my freebies? Answer them when they answer you. Respect the fact that they're engaging with you. Do that over and over again, and you can have a really, really powerful list, even if it's tiny, and make a lot of money with it. Grow your business. The other thing we did there is we offered bonuses as well. So on this particular promo, they had to go and buy something for about $20. And we had 3 different bonuses, so it was huge. So we basically made it feel like they were spending $20 to get about $300 or $400 worth of material. Well, again, if you don't have bonus material to offer, PLR can be that for you. You can go and find a video course with PLR rights and give that video course away for free to somebody that buys a new offer through your affiliate link if you want to do affiliate marketing, or you could use it as bonuses on your own launches as well. So with a few simple strategies and a small list, we're able to win affiliate contests and do really, really well as referral marketers as well. But the whole point of that last discussion there is the value of email marketing. Just make sure that you are thinking about it every single day, that you're understanding to engage with your list, and slowly but surely grow that list with real subscribers that feel like they know you. Okay, the next one, creating a visually stunning ebook or a presentation, or even a handout if you're doing live events, even if your design skills suck. So here's what you do. You start with a single PLR article. It could be an ebook or a report as well, just something with private label rights in your field of expertise. And then you want to find some freely available images on unsplash.com. I'm going to show you an example in a second here. But all you have to do is go to that website and scroll around and just try to find these stock images that kind of represent the message in your article. Okay, and I have an exact example here. And then all you have to do is you create a slide deck. You can use PowerPoint if you're on the PC. You can use Keynote if you're on your Mac. And all you do is merge some of the text from your article with the images that you find for free on unsplash.com. And then just add some promotional material throughout this slide deck presentation. When you publish it as a PDF, it becomes a brandable report that you can share anywhere. You can publish it to social media. You can publish it on a blog post or to document sharing websites. You can have your affiliates give it away, whatever. It looks really nice. It has some great content, and it's got some links inside of there that will drive people to your sales page or to your blog or wherever you want to send them. And it can all be done very quickly and easily, and it looks really nice. So here's export to PDF. I mentioned already. Here's what it would look like. I took an article in this example called 3 Benefits of Taking Risks. Lots of great reasons to take risks, right? That's how life is. So I went to unsplash.com. And in my mind, I was thinking, okay, what's some stuff that looks like a risk taker would do? So I went and found like somebody scaling a mountain or diving diving off a cliff into water or going hiking in the mountains, whatever, right? All these things kind of visually represent risk takers. And then I created 5 slides and I pasted those free images from Unsplash into the slides. And then on each slide, I had a link to toolsformotivation.com. I just put a little graphical box there, but if somebody clicks on the PDF, they're going to go to my website. So it becomes a marketing piece for me. And then on each slide, I just copy and paste some of the text of the article. Now I've got this really nice looking report. It took me next to no time to write because I didn't write the actual text. It came from PLR. It took me next to no time to design because it came from unsplash.com. And if you actually go to, I'm going to switch over here for a sec. If you go to Unsplash, I need to get rid of this thing. How do I make the Zoom thing go away? There it is. Right. Sorry, guys. Let me just see. Here it is. Tools for Motivation, or sorry, unsplash.com. I don't know if you can see it here. /@ Tools for Motivation. My business partner, Ted, has actually gone through the entire unsplash.com website, which is hundreds of thousands of pictures. It's an enormous website. And he's created collections. I actually don't have it. I don't have the right link here. I'll get this link for you after. I believe maybe it's collections /collections. Let me try really quick. Yes, it worked. All right. So unsplash.com /@ Tools for Motivation /collections. If anybody needs that link, either maybe Rachel paste it in the chat or I can set this out after. Ted has collected all kinds of images from unsplash.com into different categories. So here are 40 that kind of represents confidence and self-esteem. Here are 98 that kind of look at family life and childhood. Here are 28 that look at work-life balance type of imagery, and so on and so forth. He's done dozens and dozens of these categories. He's literally spent, I think, probably a few hundred hours doing this over the past few years. The beautiful thing about unsplash.com, and there are competing websites that offer similar, is every one of these images is completely free to use. And check their license. There is a usage kind of link at the bottom there, but you can even use it for commercial purposes. So if you need an e-cover, or if you want to use it on inside of an ebook that you're selling, for example, you can do that with these images. It's unbelievable. In the past, you would have had to spend quite a bit of money on stock photography to create something that looks so nice. nice, like my slides are showing you here. Now with PLR, you take a simple article, you take these free images, and now you've got a really nice presentation. You could create dozens of these and either sell them as a collection, give them away as branding for your company, and get people to come to your live seminars or buy your coaching program, whatever. All of this can really do a number for your marketing and look really nice in the process. On our resource page, I have a full step-by-step on how to achieve this particular result. And then my last example, how to double down on your engagement with new leads by distributing your expertise as a 5-part mini course. So we're going to talk about lead magnets here. Traditionally, I don't know how many lists you join, but when people join a list, they're typically offered something like, hey, join today, and I'm going to give you my free report on X, or I have a 10-minute video that's going to help you overcome whatever. That works great, but then you kind of give all the information on day one, and then they're on your list, and then what? Well, if you don't have a good follow-up strategy in place, that subscriber is probably going to forget who you are really, really quickly. This method ensures that you engage with new subscribers every day for at least the first 5 days so that they know and hopefully like and trust you by the end of it, like we talked about earlier. So that's that traditional model I mentioned earlier. Hey, I've got a great ebook. It's going to teach you, this example on my screen is about willpower. So I've got some great tips how to boost your willpower and stop, giving into the late afternoon cravings or skipping the gym or whatever it is, right? Sign up today, give me your name and email. I'm going to send you this report and you'll get all 5 steps or all 10 steps in my process today. And you can read that book. Great. They get all the information. However, if you switch it and you go like this, sign up today and you can get my 5-part mini course on how to boost your willpower. Each and every day, I'm going to share one powerful tip that you can try with a suggested exercise and let me know how it goes. And by the end of this 5 days, you should notice a substantial increase in your willpower, right? So that increases the engagement with your leads. Instead of giving them all information in one giant block, you're just giving them bits at a time, and you're encouraging them and kind of training them now to open your email on a daily basis. And they're going to start looking for it. Hey, what's Justin sending out today on day 3? I don't know. I want to know. So you kind of create that anticipation. You get them used to seeing your emails. This is how you really kind of warm people up to get in touch with you on an ongoing basis. So here's an easy way of doing it. Again, it comes back to using PLR. You would start with a PLR ebook or report. So my previous slide, we actually have an ebook. It's about 6,000 words long called Resolve, How to Boost Your Willpower. And I've actually done this exact example with that course. You could do it with any PLR ebook, really. And all you do is take that ebook or report and extract 5 lessons from it. Maybe the ebook has 20, but for now, start with 5 that you really like that you want to teach your new subscribers. These are going to become the basis of your mini course. Then you fill in our mini course template to complete your course. If you are interested in doing this method, get in touch with Rachel or myself, and I actually can I'll send you a direct email or direct message with a link to our templates for doing this. So you fill in our mini course template to complete your course. So essentially what you're doing is you're taking a PLR book, you're copying some text from that book, so maybe it's about willpower, and you're pasting into 5 different sections. That's really all it is. You have to write nothing. And at the end of it, you have a 5-part course built. Then you just decide on your delivery format. So if you want to do it with our template, it would be in text. I would suggest, if you want to take it a little bit further, record it into audio as well, so that when you're delivering day 1, day 2, day 3, they can opt to go for the text version, or they can listen to your voice narrating it as well. Or even further, on video, if you're looking into the camera and explaining it to them, it's even that much more powerful. So it depends on how much time you want to invest in this method. All of them will work. Obviously, text is good, audio is better, video is the best. Why this works? Well, I talked about it earlier. Instead of just giving them an ebook and saying, thanks for joining my list, you're creating an experience. You're creating a format for them to learn where they can digest little pieces of information that are useful and that might actually impact them to change a little bit more effectively in the long run. Do I want to learn about 25 steps to boost my willpower all today? Or should I just learn 1, try it out, and then hear from you again tomorrow with your next tip and start implementing it little bits at a time? We all know that habits are created slowly. This is a great way of actually helping your customer or your prospect actually change instead of just giving them information. So there's higher perceived value when you do something like this. It's a powerful form of delivery, like I just talked about. It's more effective. They're going to get more value and probably make more change in their life by following this process. Plus, it's valuable content to either sell. You could sell a course like this or just pre-sell it. If you're a coach and you have like a 10-week coaching program where you're going to get on the phone or on webinars, or who knows what it is. Maybe you have some kind of video course that they download and watch over the course of it, a week. Having a mini course like this in your lead generation funnel will really warm them up and help pre-sell some of your higher ticket stuff. You're getting them in the habit of hearing from you on a daily basis. When you position things for sale that do something the same or very similar, now you're giving yourself a much better chance of selling. And of course, my favorite part is there's 5 interactions instead of 1. You get to engage, you get to send an email to your list 5 times instead of just once. I cannot stress this enough. Email your lists daily if you can, or 4, 5, 6 days a week. Doesn't have to be a lot. Provide value. Sell your programs. Like don't be afraid to sell what you're good at, especially. I hope you believe in it. If you believe you can help them and change the lives of the people on your prospect list, then you should be selling often, getting people into your programs to make a difference, whatever that is that you do in your business. So we've gone through all of that. I'm going to be able to take some questions in a minute. Let's quickly go through the super duper crazy special offer, and then we can kind of go through questions. I know there may be some questions about the templates that I just mentioned on that previous slide. So what we have for webinar attendees, when you go to bit.do/Rachel Deal, you'll see the full details, and you will also see a replay of this webinar at some point. Here's what you're going to get a chance to do. You're going to be able to access 6 premium done-for-you self-help products from our catalog here at Tools for Motivation. You'll have to take a look. The very first one I presented to you in this webinar was one example of about 96 that we sell. They range in price from $97 to $147. You choose from a list of, I just said it, 90 products. These contain lots of different varieties of material. So if you remember, some of my examples talked about text only, but we got into audio, the power of audio, video as well. If you're doing lead generation, you're going to need reports to send out to your list. You're going to need articles for blogging or social media. We have tons of different graphics that we have a graphical team. Slide decks if you're doing presentations and so on. Our content usually covers, for the most part, you'll have to go through the product list yourself, but all of those things and more. Plus, you're going to get a resource sheet that I talked about. So all the examples that I went through in this webinar, I have step-by-step breakdowns if you want to implement them and you don't want to just take notes from the webinar, but you actually want kind of a hand-holding experience. We have a resource sheet that walks through very specific step-by-steps from this webinar of every example if you choose to take us up on this offer as well. That will appear on your download page. So you can get all of those products. It's over a $600 value during this special offer for the next few days for $97. You're basically spending the price of one, or in some cases less than one, because we do have products for $147. And you are going to be able to download 6 of your choice. To me, that's really important because you're going to see when you go to toolsformotivation.com and you look at our storefront, we have several dozen categories that we cover, and it's growing. The personal development or self-help world, really, you can dive into so many different categories and topics. And there's probably a lot of information that you share with your audience. If you are a health and wellness professional, you might want to focus on some of the things that deal with like stress relief. I talked about earlier, mindfulness and meditation and taking care of yourself and your family and your relationships, those kind of things. We have products that cover all of that. If you're a therapist, like I mentioned earlier, helping people overcome traumas or fears or whatever, you might want to look at some of our problems with or products with overcoming challenges. We have a Facing Fear e-course with audiobooks and workbooks and so on. So it really depends on what you do in your business, what your expertise is, and what kind of content you need. Are you looking for stuff to sell? Do you need courses to sell on your website, in your store? Are you trying to build your first video course to create like a high ticket, your first $500 downloadable product? You may need some PLR to backfill some of the modules in that course. This could be a great opportunity for you to save a ton of time and really all kinds of money. Because if you were to outsource this, you're probably looking at hundreds, maybe more realistically, thousands of dollars for people to write and record video and audio for you. So with all of that said, when you go to that link, bit.do/Rachel Deal, you'll see a full breakdown. You can see some of our products that are available for sale. And of course, you'll have a link to be able to ask us any questions. So that link goes to our help desk. For the most part, I will get all of those questions. I do have someone else that helps monitor the help desk, but I will very likely also see it, so you can get in touch with me personally. And I also have my cell phone number, so if you do need to get a hold of me directly, it's on there as well. So Rachel, I don't know how many questions, or if you even wanted to chime in here and add some stuff. We can take questions, we can discuss.
Yeah, I can definitely chime in here, Justin. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat box while we're wrapping up here, and we'll be glad to address them for you. One thing I do want to point out is if you're getting ebooks, audiobooks, lead gen reports, I mean, all this stuff, these are different types of content. And I know that you guys who follow us over at Use PLR know that we always talk about how people learn things in different ways, and people like different styles. Somebody might get an ebook and digest everything they want. For other folks, like Justin was saying, video might be the way to go. You can pull that audio from the video and you can use that for a podcast. I mean, there's so many things you can do here. You can create webinars of your own, and if you needed any help setting up a webinar, give me a call or shoot me an email. You guys know that I'll definitely help you with whatever I can. I just feel like this is a really valuable deal for those friends of mine who follow Whole Food PLR, especially those folks who are in the self-development and self-help niche. This is really good stuff. And it's only going to be available for how long, Justin?
I have to double check the actual date, but the timer right now on the page, I think, says 3 days.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah, just keep an eye on the timer. It's the page will automatically expire. This is something we pretty much just offer on webinars. The odd time we'll offer it on some of our bigger promotions. But this is, I mean, these are for our premium bundles. So yeah, this is a pretty exclusive deal. So if you do have questions, make sure you ask them before that timer expires so that we can get them. And obviously Rachel and I are both happy to help.
Oh, definitely. And even if you guys have a question after the webinar ends, please feel free to let me know and I'll get in touch with Justin for you and we can get everything taken care of. I do want to make a quick announcement before we wrap up here. Those of you who follow Use PLR, you know that we are going to do a creating sales funnels with PLR webinar. We're going to have to postpone that, guys. Unfortunately, I had a little accident on Memorial Day, and it's kind of pushed everything else back a little bit. So I will be sending updated details on that as soon as I get them. But I did want to give you guys a heads up that next Tuesday you are free. We don't have a webinar that day. Anything else you want to throw in here, Justin, before we wrap up?
No, I think that's it. Just if anybody is wanting to, I mentioned a few examples there. So if anybody does need the links to what I mentioned, just get a hold of either my help desk or Rachel, and I'll send those templates off.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you again, Justin, for taking the time to talk to us. I know my people really appreciate it. Albert, you have a great day. You're more than welcome. All right, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
So thank you very much. Take care, Justin.
Thanks, you too.